Hey, hi guys.
How's it
This is the case of Baily and Steve and Shelley. And how old is Baily?
About 3 years old.
Baily's about 3 years old. Tell us the history. Tell us the story about Baily, where you guys got him.
Well, we found him on the beach in St. Martin. He was roaming the beach. He was skeletal. He had tick fever. And we
I kept watching him walk.
kept on watching him walk for a week. And he came to the room one day.
So he was a feral dog living on the beach, feral,
Correct.
in the island.
Yes.
And you were there on vacation.
Right. And we
I'm
went
glad you're
ahead.
filling it in for us.
And we went ahead. And we
I'm
went
just
ahead.
clarifying it.
We went ahead and we took him to the vet. And he had tick fever. He was skeletal. He weighed 55 pounds. He now weighs about 75 pounds. And he would have died if we didn't take him home. And we took him to the vet. The vet says he's good to go. Treated the tick fever. Got him a plane ticket. Got him a crate. And had him home. And had him home since then. Actually, this March 17th will be 2 years he's here.
That's cool.
And thanks to you,
He doesn't run away anymore.
he's really behaving himself.
I'm glad you were beginning to tell me a story about you had some relatives over or something.
Oh, we had some friends over from Florida for 9 days. Couldn't wait to get rid of them.
No, they can watch that.
And went ahead to school and
they fell in love with
they
Baily.
fell in love with him. And
They only wanted to take him home.
They wanted to take him home in the worst way.
And that's how well behaved.
But we wouldn't give him up.
People.
It's really great until you guys come to the house. And then he goes, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Well, listen.
Canine's here.
Well, Baily, listen. No, Baily definitely, was a bit of a tough case. Like, there were certain things about him.
And he'd run away from home. He'd jump fences and he'd keep going. The neighbors would say he went that way.
And you guys haven't had issues with that anymore, him escaping or anything.
No. He's
He got smart. He knows where he's spotted.
Well, look, this is what I could say. Baily, in a sense, was a tough case because when I first came in, like, if he had a bone or if there were certain possessive things where he definitely showed, like, an aggressive streak about that kind of stuff. So I had to get into some tiffs with him, which probably leaves him with an attitude of me where I'm not probably his favorite person in the world. But at the same time, I felt that they were necessary stages for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you did is you made him
A
house dog.
A house pet.
Before he was a wild animal.
Well, I just want to ask you guys a couple questions too. I mean, did you feel like we were determined, like once we told you that we were going to stick with this and keep coming, and no matter what?
Absolutely.
You guys were men of your word.
You guys are really, top notch, top quality.
You stuck to your word
And we
more
had-
so than he has with training you.
And we had a prior trainer. You remember that? I told you the story.
Yeah, so you had another trainer.
I had another trainer. It didn't help at all.
Didn't do a thing.
You guys came in the store. You were a little rough with him. I didn't like it at the time, but I realized it had to be done. But the outcome is he's just dynamite.
It's
Well,
beautiful.
quite frankly, I had to say that I think my assessment and your assessment were a little different about the dog. You're more emotionally involved with the dog than I am. From my perspective, I saw the dog as a little borderline dangerous, quite frankly. The behaviors he was showing.
He had bit the neighbor's kids.
We had known that he had bitten one person, and I just felt that there was a potential that it was going to escalate, And it's difficult to, when you love the dog, it's difficult to come to terms with that you tend to minimize it, And I saw the dog, how threatening he was with his bone. It was difficult for you guys even to take things away from him. And I was like, look, before this dog, you have the potential of a great success story. This dog was a wild, feral dog that had no life, that you bothered to spend money on, adopt, bring him over from St. Martin.
He had cancer, you remember? Yeah, I told you he had cancer.
He had cancer?
He had cancer. We went ahead and spent $2,000 on chemotherapy with him. Oh, yeah.
I want you to backpedal a minute.
I just didn't
I
want
want you
to
to backpedal. We had a trainer, but what's beautiful with you is that you trained us on how to train him. The other trainers would train a dog
And leave us
and
back.
leave you, and the owners, well, okay, he's good when someone's always here, and that's the end of it. But you taught us how to train him.
Well, what I've come to realize, look, dog training is a relationship, right? It's a relationship between you and the dog. It's like in any other relationship. What good is couples therapy going to do if only one person goes to the therapy? If only one of you changes, right? It's not. If only one of you changes, right? It's not. It's probably going to lead to a divorce, not to a better marriage, right? Because one person's changing and the other one isn't, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing in the dog training relationship. If the dog's changing and you're not, and then that's only half of the relationship. There's two halves, right? Both halves have to change in order for the whole picture to evolve into a better situation.
Look how lovable he is. Look how
This is great. You know, this is great. When I see now that you can call Baily away from the door, when people come to the door. I mean, when I first came here, he was a maniac at the door. He'd be lunging at the door. You'd have to drag him away physically, now I see that you're able to call him away, and he comes next to you, he lays down at your feet when you tell him,
That's all you want, dude. I mean, you can't expect anything more from a dog, I'll be honest with you. I mean, he'll sit, he'll lay, he'll this and that,
He's got his
he'll
routine.
heel, but,
Yeah,
he has his own personality. He really does.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, there he is, yeah.
What are you growling about? What are you growling about? What are you
There he
growling
is,
about?
Mr. Grouch.
What you
But
growling?
listen, I'm glad it's a success story in the sense that, like I said, you went to such extraordinary lengths to save the dog. To see it not work out in the end because of behavioral issues, it would be like a tragedy.
I'd never give up on him, I'll tell you that.
Well,
I'd never give up on him.
You are determined, and I can tell that about you. Like you committed to the dog. You committed to the dog.
Let his wife go sooner than the dog.
What did your son think about everything when he came to see the dog? Like,
He was just totally shocked. I mean, from the time he came that June
The following year.
to the following Thanksgiving, right? He could, no, I'm sorry, it was
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving,
to
it was
July.
Thanksgiving of 2010, no, Thanksgiving
Doesn't
2009
matter.
to 2010, July 4th. He couldn't believe the difference in the dog. Totally a different dog, he couldn't believe it. When he was here in 2009 for Thanksgiving, Baily was a wild animal.
You like
He
the
would
way
just
he's
come
looking
on
here?
board.
Yeah.
He came on board like in October,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And when he came back for Thanksgiving this year, he could not believe the difference. I'm sorry, July 4th. He
You'll
couldn't
get
believe
your
the difference.
dates
I'll get the dates straight. He couldn't believe it though.
I'm good.
But in the time, and you guys saw.
Actually, you're talking about July 4th and then he came back Thanksgiving. Because we didn't have him here until October.
That's right. So it was July 4th of 2010 to Thanksgiving
long
of
day.
2010. It's a long
And he
day.
was shocked by the difference.
And he was shocked at the difference. Totally shocked at the difference.
Listen, I'm very happy that, we've been able to salvage the situation with the dog because, and like I said, I think that people's safety inevitably was at stake with the dog, because you needed to get a handle on this dog because he's a tough dog.
He's a tough
And
dog.
he is. He's a tough dog.
He's a tough
and
baby.
he can be easily underestimated because he's very sweet with you guys in general, but there's certain character dispositions about the dog that make the dog, under the right set of circumstances, he could be dangerous to somebody if they don't know what they're
He's even
doing.
gotten good with other dogs, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, like Blink, who walk around the block with Blink, who even bother with Blink. He walks around the entire block.
And that used to be an issue when you used to walk
Yeah,
on the
right,
street, right, with
right.
other dogs.
Yeah. I mean, some dogs he still hates. I can't help him, all right?
You don't like everybody in
He's
this
like
world,
everybody,
right?
neither you.
But he's under control around the other
but-
dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, but with Blink, the collie across the street,
Mm-hmm.
he used to go crazy with her. And now we can walk around the entire block. He goes his way, she goes her way. There's never a word, never an argument, never a bark, never an aggressive movement, nothing, zero.
And even when these other dogs are in the street, when you give them commands and you tell them you're able to control them.
Most of the dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the dogs are so he wants to just get and that's it.
Well,
Well,
But
That's
he's very good with his brother.
that's between him and he's gotten great with Boo. He really has gotten great with Boo.
there's less conflict between the two dogs.
100%.
They understand each other.
They understand each other.
They kiss each other.
They'll play fight in the morning, they'll play fight at night, but there's no blood, there's no howling.
There's no taking toys away from him.
There's no taking toys away from him. Used to take all his toys from him.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that food possessed Bailey took. There's no more.
That's good. What I hope that you continue to follow our directions, okay, as best as you can. Okay, the more closely you follow our directions, the better the result. The better result you're going to get in the long run. You know, we want it to be a permanent, lasting effect. You know, and
Absolutely.
that's why we feel like it's best that if we educate you guys on how to handle the particular type of dog that you have. We definitely have your best interest and the dog's best interest at heart. You know?
Without a doubt.
And when I done.
And we're determined to make it work out. You know, like where a lot of people would have got run out of here. I think a lot of trainers would have ran out of here afraid of this dog.
Not only that, was all, but you look,
You thought he was going to bite you at the beginning. You said, hey, look,
I did.
I'm going to wear a bandage or something
Yes.
on my hand one of these days because he could bite me.
Yes.
Now I saw him licking you.
Yeah.
You're sitting right there.
We've become friends over
Yeah.
time. He's even sniffing and licking me now. So like over time, he's become much more peaceful in general. You know.
No, you guys haven't given up, honestly. Honestly, you came the last couple of times. It was really just for reinforcement rather than doing any further training, which is phenomenal. And coming today, getting stuck in the traffic, it's all, and getting to see Bailey is even better yet. And of course, we missed like almost a month between my
Vacations,
illnesses, my
your
blood
illness.
illnesses, my vacations, and so on stuff. And you guys, bingo, you're here.
What we really have to do is when we put the thing outside, we have to try that.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys
you want
nice
to do
weather.
that perimeter training.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
we lined
Gotta
up
get
for
that
him.
done.
But I'm glad that, listen, I want to say thank you. Thank
wanna
you for
say
your
thank you.
confidence. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your
I wanna say
confidence.
thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
I knew it was going to be a handful. I knew he was going to be a handful, and he didn't disappoint me in that way. But I'm glad that we could say it's a success
It's like
story.
not how you start that counts, it's how you end up.
That's how you finish.